On the first day of every month, Michael and Lisa, both in their early 50s, make a quiet transfer. It's not for a bill nor an investment. For the past 4 years, DOLA 800 has consistently moved from their checking account to their 27-year-old daughter, Emily's. This isn't an emergency payment. It's a fixed line item in their family budget, as predictable as their mortgage payment. They never imagined that parenthood would extend so deeply into their child's adult life, especially not with Emily working full-time, holding a college degree. Yet the expectation, unspoken but understood, has become a silent agreement. This monthly ritual is a mirror reflecting a quiet, profound shift across millions of American households, redefining what it means for a young adult to launch into independence. It begs a question many parents and their adult children are grappling with. Why does reaching financial independence now feel like such a moving target? For generations, the path to adulthood was drawn with clear lines. Graduate, find a stable job, move out, build a career, perhaps start a family. Parents expected to provide support through childhood, maybe a little help through college. But then the baton was passed. The implicit contract was clear. By your mid-20s, you were largely on your own, carving out your piece of the American dream. Today, that blueprint feels increasingly outdated. The average age Americans expect to achieve full financial independence has steadily climbed, and now often stretching into the late 30s. This isn't just a matter of changing expectations. It's a reflection of profound shifts in the economic landscape that have made the traditional markers of adulthood far more elusive. Where once a good job after graduation could quickly lead to self-sufficiency, that same trajectory now demands a sustained climb against stronger headwinds. One of the most immediate pressures is housing. The cost of rent has soared across the nation, far outpacing wage growth for many entry-level and even mid-career positions. In numerous metropolitan areas, the median home value has surged significantly faster than the median income for younger households over the past 5 years. This means that even with a steady job, affording rent, let alone saving for a down payment, can feel like an uphill battle, leaving little room for error or unexpected expenses. Then, there's the shadow of student debt. A significant portion of young adults today are navigating the economy burdened by educational loans that simply didn't exist in such magnitude for previous generations. This multi-trillion-dollar debt isn't just a number. It's a monthly payment that directly erodes disposable income, delays savings, and pushes back major life milestones like buying a home or starting a family. It transforms what was once an investment in future earning potential into an immediate, substantial drain on present finances. Healthcare costs are another silent but powerful force. Even with employer-sponsored plans, deductibles and copays can quickly add up, turning a minor illness or injury into a significant financial setback. For those without robust insurance or relying on plans with higher out-of-pocket maximums, these expenses can swiftly derail any attempt to build an emergency fund. It highlights how the safety nets that once offered a degree of financial predictability have thinned. leaving more individuals vulnerable to unexpected shocks. It's not that young adults lack ambition or work ethic. Many are college-educated and employed full-time, working diligently to establish themselves. Yet, the combined weight of these structural pressures, from housing and student debt to healthcare and stagnant real wage growth, relative to living costs, creates an economic environment where making it requires a much longer runway than ever before. This phenomenon, which we might call delayed financial independence, is becoming the new normal for a generation. This extended launch isn't just an abstract economic trend. It manifests in the daily realities of families across the country. It's visible in the budgets of parents like Michael and Lisa, and most acutely in the lives of their adult children. Consider Emily, their daughter, a 27-year-old navigating this precise landscape. Emily, at 27, embodies this new reality. She holds a bachelor's degree, a credential once considered a reliable passport to the middle class, and works full-time in healthcare administration. Her annual income, approximately $68,000, places her above the national median for individual earners. On paper, she's doing everything right. She's employed, educated, and committed to her career path. Yet, every month, a significant portion of that income disappears almost immediately. Her share of rent for a modest 2-bedroom apartment, which she splits with a roommate, consumes nearly a third of her take-home pay. Then there are her student loan payments, a fixed burden that has persisted since graduation, chipping away at another substantial chunk. Car insurance, groceries, utilities, and transportation costs steadily reduce the remainder to a thin margin. Emily isn't financially irresponsible. She tracks her expenses meticulously, cooks at home, and rarely indulges in luxuries. But the math is simply unforgiving. After covering her fixed costs and essential living expenses, there's little left to build an emergency fund, contribute substantially to a 401(n), or save for a down payment on her own place, a goal that feels increasingly distant. Her dream of homeownership, once a tangible aspiration, now exists as a theoretical concept, perpetually out of reach. This tightrope walk leaves her vulnerable. A sudden car repair, an unexpected dental bill, or a minor health issue can instantly tip her into deficit. It's in these moments that Michael and Lisa's monthly transfer becomes more than just support. It's a crucial safety net. This month, for instance, Emily is facing a difficult decision. Her apartment lease is up for renewal in 6 weeks, and her landlord has announced a 10 rent increase. She's been frantically searching for a new place, but anything comparable is either priced even higher or requires a longer commute, pushing her transportation costs up. She knows her parents' Dole 800 transfer helps cover part of her current rent, and this increase means her portion will jump significantly. She's not sure how she'll absorb it without cutting further into her already minimal discretionary spending. Or worse, dipping into the tiny savings she's managed to accumulate for a future down payment. The thought of asking her parents for more money, after years of their consistent help, weighs heavily on her. She feels a mix of gratitude and quiet shame, a common sentiment among young adults in similar situations. This isn't a unique struggle for Emily. Many of her friends, equally educated and employed, find themselves in similar predicaments, relying on family for help with everything from unexpected medical bills to holiday travel, or even the occasional emergency expense. The narrative of the self-sufficient young adult, moving confidently into their prime earning years, feels increasingly disconnected from the ground truth. It's a testament to how the economic goalposts have shifted, demanding more resources and a longer timeline for what was once considered baseline stability. The looming lease renewal is a tangible deadline, a ticking clock that underscores the precariousness of her financial situation. It forces her to confront the reality that despite her best efforts, full financial independence remains just beyond her grasp. Her parents' support isn't just a subsidy. It's an essential bridge in an economic environment where the gap between income and expenses has widened into a chasm. Her story, while personal, is a microcosm of a much larger, systemic shift that is redefining the very notion of adulthood in America. For decades, the American dream was often depicted as a ladder, each generation climbing a rung higher, achieving greater prosperity than the last. The middle class was the broad, stable platform where most families resided, a testament to hard work and opportunity. This vision, however, has been quietly eroding, replaced by an economic landscape where even diligent effort often fails to yield the expected rewards. The conventional wisdom once held that economic mobility was primarily a function of individual choices and effort. Get a good education, work hard, save diligently, and the path to a stable, prosperous life would unfold. While personal responsibility remains vital, a closer look reveals that the ground rules have fundamentally changed. The structural foundations that supported widespread middle-class growth in previous generations have weakened, creating a different set of challenges for today's workers. Consider the cost of living. Over the past 2 decades, essential expenses have surged. Housing costs, particularly in desirable urban and suburban areas, have outpaced wage growth significantly. Healthcare premiums and out-of-pocket costs have become a persistent drain on household budgets. Education, once a gateway to upward mobility, now often comes with a multi-generational burden of student loan debt, delaying major life milestones for millions. Even necessities like groceries and transportation have seen steady increases, compounding the pressure on stagnant or slowly growing incomes. This isn't just about inflation. It's about the disproportionate rise of these core expenses relative to what people earn. Some might argue that these increases are simply a reflection of an improved quality of life or better services. Higher housing costs, for instance, could be linked to more amenities or better infrastructure. Similarly, medical advancements mean more effective but often more expensive treatments. And while these points hold some truth, they don't fully account for the widening gap that Emily and so many others experience. The core issue isn't always about desiring luxury. It's about the rising cost of basic, security and opportunity. Local zoning policies, for example, can restrict housing supply, artificially driving up prices, irrespective of individual property improvements. Moreover, wage stagnation for many non-supervisory roles means that even if services improve, the ability to afford them hasn't kept pace. This brings us to the income side of the equation. While productivity in the U.S. has continued to climb, the benefits of that growth haven't been evenly distributed. For a significant portion of the workforce, real wages, what your paycheck can actually buy, have remained largely flat for decades, especially for those without advanced degrees or in highly specialized fields. The share of national income going to labor has declined, while the share going to capital has risen. This divergence creates a challenging environment where working harder doesn't necessarily translate into a larger slice of the economic pie. The result is a shrinking space between what people earn and what they need to spend, making financial resilience an increasingly rare commodity. The pressures on Emily, therefore, are not isolated incidents, but symptoms of these broader economic currents. Her struggle to afford a comfortable life, despite her education and employment, highlights a systemic reordering of financial realities. It's a situation where the individual narrative of hard work collides with the structural realities of rising costs and stagnant wages, demanding a deeper understanding of how the economic landscape has fundamentally shifted. The pressures on Emily, therefore, are not isolated incidents, but symptoms of these broader economic currents. Her struggle to afford a comfortable life, despite her education and employment, highlights a systemic reordering of financial realities. It's a situation where the individual narrative of hard work collides with the structural realities of rising costs and stagnant wages, demanding a deeper understanding of how the economic landscape has fundamentally shifted. At the heart of this shift lies a crucial imbalance. The cost of basic security has become disproportionately high relative to what many individuals earn. It's not just about luxury goods or discretionary spending. It's about the fundamental building blocks of a stable adult life. For decades, a full-time job with a college degree was generally sufficient to cover rent, student loans, and still allow for savings and investment. That equation has been disrupted, leading to what many now call credential inflation, where higher education is required for jobs that once needed less, without a corresponding increase in real wages. This phenomenon extends beyond housing and student debt. The labor market itself has undergone a profound transformation. The decline of unionization, the rise of the gig economy, and the increasing prevalence of contract work have, for some, eroded the stability and benefits once associated with traditional employment. While these shifts offer flexibility for certain workers, they can also lead to less predictable income streams. Fewer employer-sponsored benefits like robust healthcare and retirement plans, and a diminished sense of long-term job security. This fragmentation of work means that even a full-time job can come with a greater personal burden of risk and financial planning than in previous generations. Another often overlooked factor is the change in how wealth is accumulated and distributed. In earlier decades, a larger share of economic growth flowed into wages, allowing middle-class families to save, invest, and build equity through homeownership. Today, a greater portion of wealth accrues to existing capital assets and financial markets. This means that those who already own assets, like real estate or stocks, see their wealth grow faster, while those relying primarily on wages find it harder to get a foothold. It creates a widening gap where inheritance and existing family wealth play an increasingly significant role in a young adult's ability to achieve milestones like a down payment on a home, a factor far less dominant in earlier generations. Some might contend that these economic shifts are simply a reflection of personal choices or evolving lifestyles. Perhaps young adults choose to live in more expensive cities, or they prioritize experiences over saving, or they demand higher quality goods and services. Indeed, individual preferences certainly play a role in spending habits. Moreover, local zoning regulations and community resistance to new development can undeniably constrain housing supply, driving up prices independently of broader economic forces. And it's true that the quality of many services, from healthcare to technology, has improved, often accompanied by higher costs. However, these explanations, while valid in part, fail to capture the full scope of the challenge. Emily isn't living extravagantly. She's making pragmatic choices given her income and the market realities. The issue isn't solely about personal preference, but about the baseline cost of a stable middle-class existence having become unmoored from average wage growth. Even in more affordable regions, the path to independent homeownership, for instance, still requires a level of savings that feels unattainable for many. The sheer scale of the student debt crisis, impacting millions, cannot be dismissed as individual poor choices in education, but points to a systemic re-evaluation of educational funding and value. The cumulative effect of these forces, rising costs, stagnant real wages, precarious labor markets, and the changing dynamics of wealth accumulation, creates a formidable barrier to full financial independence. It's a landscape where the traditional economic escalator that carried previous generations upward has either slowed down or, for some, even reversed. The gap between what a young adult earns and what they need to simply maintain stability has widened, making the prospect of significant savings or asset accumulation feel like a distant dream. This persistent struggle, played out in individual budgets and family conversations, doesn't just impact bank accounts. It has profound psychological and social consequences, redefining the very nature of success and independence for an entire generation. This persistent struggle, played out in individual budgets and family conversations, doesn't just impact bank accounts. It has profound psychological and social consequences, redefining the very nature of success and independence for an entire generation. What does it mean when the traditional markers of adulthood, moving out, owning a home, starting a family, are increasingly delayed, not by choice, but by economic necessity? For young adults like Emily, the constant financial tightrope walk can foster a pervasive sense of anxiety and self-doubt. Despite working hard and following the established pathways, the goal of true independence feels perpetually out of reach. This can lead to a quiet frustration, a feeling of being stuck in an extended adolescence where one is technically an adult but still reliant on a safety net built by others. It challenges their sense of agency and can erode confidence in their ability to navigate the world on their own terms. The psychological toll extends to parents as well. Michael and Lisa, like millions of others, find themselves in a novel situation, parenting their adult children well into their 20s, sometimes even 30s. For generations, parental success was measured by preparing children to become self-sufficient, capable adults who could stand on their own 2 feet. Now, success is often redefined by how effectively they can help their children remain financially stable, even if it means sacrificing their own financial security. This shift can create a unique form of chronic stress as parents grapple with the desire to help their children versus the need to secure their own retirement. This dynamic subtly reconfigures family relationships. The traditional parent-child roles, which once saw a gradual shift towards more independent adult-to-adult interactions, can remain intertwined with financial dependencies. While many families navigate this with grace and understanding, it can also lead to unspoken tensions, feelings of obligation, or even resentment on both sides. The lines between support and enabling can blur, making conversations about money fraught with emotional complexity. One of the most unsettling effects is the erosion of faith in the system itself. When education, hard work, and responsible financial habits no longer guarantee the same level of stability and upward mobility they once did, it breeds a quiet disillusionment. Young adults may question the value of traditional pathways, while parents may wonder if the advice they once received and passed on is still relevant. This isn't about blaming individuals. It's about a growing awareness that the economic rules of engagement have fundamentally changed, leaving many feeling adrift in a landscape they were not prepared for. This extended launch, therefore, becomes more than just a financial predicament. It's a societal re-evaluation of what constitutes a successful transition into adulthood. It forces a confrontation with the uncomfortable truth that for many, the American dream, as traditionally understood, has become significantly more expensive and harder to achieve. The question isn't whether young adults want independence. It's about the ever-widening gap between aspiration and economic reality, a gap that often falls to parents to bridge. And as Emily faces her looming rent increase, contemplating another difficult conversation with her parents, the personal implications of this systemic shift become acutely clear. Every generation hopes to leave the next one with more opportunity than it had, a fundamental tenet of progress. For many American families, that commitment has never disappeared. What has changed, however, is how long that responsibility now lasts, and the quiet sacrifices it demands. Michael and Lisa, like millions of parents, continue to make that DOLA $800 transfer each month, not out of charity, but out of necessity. It's a recurring negotiation with an economy that has shifted the burden of stability onto individual households. This isn't just about financial statements. It's about the emotional calculus parents perform, weighing their retirement savings against their child's immediate needs, often choosing the latter. Their commitment is a powerful testament to the enduring bond of family, yet it also highlights a profound societal challenge. The question is no longer whether young adults want independence or whether parents are willing to help. It is why achieving that independence has become so much more expensive, a journey now stretching well beyond the traditional markers of adulthood. The structural changes we've explored, from housing affordability and student debt to stagnant wages and rising living costs, have quietly redefined financial independence itself. For generations, the American dream promised that hard work would lead to a stable launch into adulthood. Today, for many, that launch has become an extended, precarious flight, often requiring a co-pilot. The aspiration for independence remains stronger than ever, but the economic landscape has made it a destination that demands more resources, more time, and more intergenerational support than ever before. So, as families like Emily's continue to navigate this evolving reality, what does it truly mean to be financially independent in an economy that seems to demand ever more?